to move it. Okay. Good morning, men. It's a great pleasure for me to be here, just a day before Father's Day, so that then we can have a discussion about us. Those preliminary comments by some of you were very reflective of our situation today as men, where the world has changed dramatically, and we must change also. We had assumed that nothing will affect us, but you can be sure the world is moving fast, and we have to change equally. So let me begin by asking a few questions, just as a curtain raiser. How long has the universe been in existence? Very basic question. How long? That is the Earth, the universe. 14 billion, correct. The Big Bang that blew whatever it was, and you can imagine the amount of energy that was used to blow it up. 14 billion years, okay? The Earth itself has been in existence for 4.5, so it means we broke off from another crust. And then, if you bring it now closer, some event happened 65 million years ago. Some rocks collided with our planet, and some species ceased to exist. They were called dinosaurs. Okay? There was no sunlight for close to 2 years, and they disappeared. And the smaller animals came out and survived, and we are the descendants of those smaller animals. Okay? Now, the current species of human beings, the Homo sapiens, have been in existence on this planet for how many years? So we have come from 14 billion. Let's now come to our species. Our species have been in existence for us, the Homo sapiens. You know, prior to that, we were Homo erectus. It is 200,000 years. So the human race, as we know them today, have just been on this universe, specifically this planet, for the last 200 years. So we are not very old compared to, and in that 200 years, a lot of developments have happened. And in each generation, things happen faster than the previous one. Today, we are in a world of internet, social media, information overload, that the Homo sapiens think there's too much pressure on us. But remember, every generation for the last 200,000 years has always faced pressure. It's just that it is of a different kind. If you read research about pressure, a psychologist will tell you that the human race unlearns the past between 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years. You unlearn the past. Now, in today's world of the internet and information overload, you are required to unlearn within 6 months, others even 3 months. So that's where the pressure comes. Now, also, the world is moving faster by saying we want to unlock one engine that has been suppressed over time. And that engine is the woman. So, in the last 50 or so years, there's been a lot of empowerment of women. They go to school, they are invited in workplaces. In countries even like the US, women never voted until 1964. So there's a lot of unlocking of the other engine in the planet which has been suppressed for a very long time. The end result is we are in a world where we have educated women. First time those 200,000 years that women are on the same level with men. And then most of you then never adjusted your minds to this new reality. And that is where the pressure comes. So we are here today to discuss about some of the things that we need to do to make that adjustment. Remember, biologically, it is 5 to 7 years, but now, for some of you, the adjustment has to occur today. Lazima mbadilike leo. Instant. Because, like the gentleman who was saying he was sponsored by his wife, by tomorrow the wife expects a change. And I'm here today to propose some of those changes. By tomorrow, utafika nyumbani, unasema, nimekubali, and I'm now a new man. You remember those who, I'm sure some of you are saved, and those who are saved, they give a testimony overnight and say, I have changed overnight. So some of you will reach home tomorrow, or even this evening, and utakuwa umeokoka. So therefore, the pressure is there, that's okay, and there's nothing wrong. Every generation faces pressure of some sort. It is how you build in coping mechanisms and move forward, rather than giving up. So, in the last 200,000 years, the Homo sapiens are growing. And if you ask archaeologists will say, there's a new species coming, okay? It means then ours has to go extinct. So if you are not careful as the men, we could go extinct. So we must make sure that we survive and we evolve to the next species. Nobody knows what name we'll give it, okay? But it could occur in the next 10,000 years. So our effort, guys, is we must survive for the next 10,000 years, at least cross over to the next species. So, therefore, my message today is the men must man up. The fact that the women have gone to school and the fact that they're earning income, for some of you, your wives earn more than you and are more educated. Now, when faced with that challenge, many men, instead of manning up, they shrink. You shrink, why? It's because for the first time, your manhood has been challenged in your own household by a woman you brought voluntarily to your house. Nobody forced you. Your parents never forced you. You said you are in love, and you bring her to your house. So, there are three things, therefore, I would like us to address squarely today. Three things that we must address squarely. The first one is career and education. This is where challenge number one at the household begins. Most likely, you met your wife in college or university or even in high school, okay? The girl child of today is under immense pressure to succeed. So what do? They come, they work hard. Sometimes they beat you in class if you are in the same class. Or they get a first-class degree and you get a lower second. That's where trouble begins. So therefore, the man of today has to make sure ameweka bidii in their career and education, both formal. It has to be both formal and informal education. So the career man today is, if you finish university 5 years ago or 10 years ago, most of you, if you have not advanced your career and education, you are now what is classified as being functionally illiterate. You see where trouble begins? Over time, because you are not improving yourself, you're going for Man U and Arsenal matches, Ujasoma. The woman of today goes to evening classes. If you look at all our universities, the evening classes, there are more women than men. So they are upping the game, and we, the men, are assuming ile masomo tuliipata zamani imetosha. The answer is no. You must up your game permanently. If your wife has a first degree, who and you, you must get the second one immediately. Akifika the second one, sukuma to the next one. And if you are at par, then now you can say, okay, fine, we are at par now. How do I improve my game informally? The challenge with many men is even reading a book. Imekuwa shida. Okay? My recommendation is you are supposed to read at least one quality book per week. So therefore, in a year, you are supposed to read 52 books. So let me ask, how many of you have read 52 books? We are now halfway, so you should have done 25. 25? So you see now, utashikwa na kina mama. So being ambitious, career-wise, is one way of asserting your power in the household. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is what you engage in as a family member, conversations with your child, your son, your daughter, even your relatives. If you are somebody with less knowledge, then you are at risk of being ignored in the same household. So knowledge becomes a critical thing. Please advance your knowledge, advance your career, and keep pushing, because the women are breathing on your neck. So therefore, it's very important for you to increase knowledge. Me personally, I read 4 books simultaneously. And I advance. I page here today, 3 pages there, a chapter there. Ninasonga mbele. Because they are coming behind me. Especially for me, I am an only son and I have only daughters. So the pressure on me, if you thought pressure iko kwako, look at mine, pressure iko. So it's important for you to advance your career, your knowledge. And that is your defense if you want to have authority at home. Number 2 is personal finance. Money is an important thing in a family. It is what drives the family. It is what pays the rent. It is what pays the food. It is what pays school fees. It is everything. If you want to buy a car, pesa lazima iko. Now, the man of today is challenged to man up in income. So, it begins with a savings rate. Now, the highest savers in the world are the Chinese. They save, on average, 55% of their income. If you look at the Chinese in Kenya, they have made trillions, especially in the construction industry. Trillions. For the last 20 years that they have been here significantly, the Chinese have never seen one drive a Range Rover. Not one. Lakini wewe Mkenya, ukipata shilingi kidogo tu, the town will know that uko na pesa. So guys, our first challenge in personal finance is to save. The ideal, if you look at Vision 2030, the ideal was 30%. That was what is in Vision 2030. But the reality in Kenya today is Kenyans are the lowest savers in East Africa. We are the lowest savers. Uganda is at 23% of GDP. Tanzania at 21%. Kenya is at 12%. There was even a time we had gone to 7%. We are not saving. Where does our money go? Okay, tax, of course. But the key thing is we must save. The second part is we must generate more income. We must generate more income. Now, every man today is challenged to have more than one income source. So if you have one, you are at risk. Your power will be eroded in the household because mama atasema, sasa wewe, if I am earning more than you, why are you here? Wewe ni mwanaume aina gani? So therefore, we must have passive income. Now, you might say, when do I have the time? Every human being in this planet has 24 hours. Nobody is given more. But how come we have an Elon Musk who is a trillionaire and we have you who is not even a millionaire? Sasa wewe ni mwanamume aina gani? So part of the conversation today is how do you free some of the things you do so that you have more time to earn more income. Now, some of you are doing things which don't make business sense. Okay? Especially those people from where I come from, Eldoret. Mnapanda mahindi and you call yourself a farmer. How can you be a farmer and you're in Nairobi? Or you plant maize, which is a loss-making thing. And then, even when you save, the way you deploy your savings has a lot to be decided. Now, let's begin with some of the investments you guys make. Let's look at rental yields. What's the rental yield in Nairobi? And some of you have rental. What's the rental yield? 3-4% net. If you are lucky. Now, if you put it in a money market fund, money market, 11-12%. So those of you who are having rentals, a yield of 3%, and there's a money market giving 11%, see, your wife is looking at you as like, sasa wewe, mjinga inagani? If you look at bonds, a bond is government, your own government, which you pay tax to, is borrowing from you. in 2024, infrastructure bonds reach a yield of 18%. So put up your hand if you bought that infrastructure bond. 1, 2, so probably around 10%. The other 90%, mlikuwa mnaona wapi? %18 is excellent. And remember, that 18% is risk-free. An infrastructure bond is risk-free, tax-free. Remember, your wife in the house is looking at you. They know these things, they discuss. Okay? They discuss in their chamas and they say, you know, my husband is planting maize and there's an infrastructure bond here. You see how our authority is undermined at home? Because you are making an irrational decision. So they start doubting whether ulienda university or ulipiga kona. Guys, we must sort out this personal finance thing. Save first. So that means consumption is reduced. Because what's saving? A saving is postponed consumption. And then invest wisely. Okay? Invest. So part of the conversation today I want to table is when you reach home, can you draw your balance sheet? All the assets that you have and the yields that give you. And then you compare with the market yields for comparable assets. Then you begin now rationalizing the assets at home, and you nakaa na mama na watoto, and then you say, guys, we must reorganize our assets to unlock their potential so that our income goes up. If you do that, power at home increases. Because the family sees you as taking care of their interests. The other thing that you have to then also address is the issue of black tax. Black tax. That is your own income that you then have to support relatives. There is nothing wrong with supporting your relatives, but iko na limit yake. You must also allow them to stand on their own feet. So you enable them rather than they become parasites. Very important that we must reorganize income and enable our relatives to stand on their own feet. So therefore, personal finance is a big topic at the household level. And you must then increase your income. And I would like to say you must then push for passive income. And examples I've given you are you do a business, trading, okay? You can buy shares, okay? Or you can even go to a bank for wealth management tips. So there are so many opportunities to increase income. So the man of today, the pressure you are having is how do I increase my income within the 24 hours everybody has? Because nobody has more. So income is a big topic, and I would like us to make a resolution as men here that we are going to work very hard and ensure that from your formal salary, you should be making 3 times. So how many are doing 3 times now? Your formal income. You have a formal income, but your passive income is 3 times. If you do that, guys, utapendwa. Why? You can afford to take your wife for dinner in a fine restaurant. She'll be telling her friends, you took her to Mandari in Serena. When was the last time you gave her a date in Serena? Mandari restaurant. Or Kempinski. Or Norfolk. Now, the minute you start taking her to Java, guys, mambo iko hatari. So, income, you might want to, I know some of you are asking, now how to, where did they see these things? You have to know the impact of media. Before social media, there were soaps, American soaps, Mexican soaps. You guys never watched, so you don't know. Women watch them religiously. So therefore, a lot of the new habits they have they are picked from media. So they see in a soap a date, and they start imagining in their minds, why is my husband not taking me for a date? So don't underestimate how far they have come. And they are very sophisticated. And you have been watching football, kumbe at home, wanairefuka. It's very important that we must organize our personal finance, and women get very proud of a man who can stand on his own financial feet. So today, roll your sleeves, and on Monday, I would like to see ideas. Call me, and then I'll advise you what are the areas that you can increase your income. And when you increase your income, respect inaenda you. I guarantee you. The third one is family and health. I put them together because they go together. Family. Now, at the household level, you are the leader of the house. I'm classified by women on boards as their ambassadors. So I talk to women a lot. And I ask them these questions of this balance of power at the household level. Do you guys want to topple? And you know what the answer is? The answer is always no. They don't want to topple the man, but they expect the man not to leave a vacuum. The challenge with you guys is you leave a vacuum at home. So, as they say, nature abhors a vacuum. So if, for example, at the household level, you are not leading, you are not becoming the man, the woman says, so what do we do? School fees, ya watoto lazima ilipwe. Rent, lazima ilipwe. Chakula. Now, if you are not playing that role with your if you are not increasing your income as the man of the home, so what do you expect the woman to do? She fills the vacuum, and over time, you are toppled. And when they topple you, you start complaining, or you commit suicide. Sasa. So at the household level, the women know. And they are being taught in church. Proverbs 31. Every woman you talk to, she wants to be a Proverbs 31 woman. You all know what Proverbs 31 woman is? You know? Okay. Those of you who don't know, go and read it. That is the way they look at you. But don't leave a vacuum. So, you must be the leader. And the first 2 points give you pole position. Career, ambitious man, okay? And if you are ambitious, of course, income comes with it. So, there was somebody who said from Umoja to Runda and the dichotomy of that. It is important for you to say, one, I am the leader. One, God gave you that right as the leader of the household. It's a God-given. So don't even undermine God by leaving a vacuum. The man is the leader of the family. But leadership comes with responsibility. You must be a responsible man. Okay? Number 2 is you have to be a present father, a present husband, a present dad. Ask yourself today, how many hours do you spend at home with the family? And remember, it's not about quantity, it's about the quality of that time. Quality. The man of today is not giving the family quality time. And in some cases, even the quantity. If you are that man that arrives at home at 3 a.m. na umelewa, serikali yako itapendelewa. At you go and tell a woman at 3 a.m. at you want for me food. That's loss of respect, Apple, straight. Because she asked herself, at 6 a.m., I have to cook for the children to go to school, and I have also to be at work. Na wewe unakuja at 3 a.m., unapiga kifua. Respect just dropped. Boop. So therefore, in the same way that you are very careful in the office, be also careful at home. The same discipline, the same nidhamu is at the office, you must apply it at home. You must gain that respect as the leader of the household. You must gain it. So therefore, family becomes critical. You must be a present father. For me, on average, myself, on average, I'm in my house by 8 every day, irrespective of what happens. And if I am not able to be by 8, my children start asking, Dad, where are you? They are so used to it. Now, if a CEO like me who has been a CEO for so long can be at home by 8, Sasa, where? Being present, sindio? Then the third aspect is there is income in the family. Where do you invest in? Okay? Where do you invest in? The first and most important investment, and I will talk about today, is education. If there is anything women love, is that the father of the house, the leader of the house, puts the children first. So therefore, you must invest in your children. Give them the best education and buy. The best education money can buy. Don't compromise on that. So please, as you think about today, I want you to begin rationalizing your assets, unlocking more income, and the first deployment of that income is education of your children. That is when you will receive incredible loyalty from your wife. Watoto. Okay? Me, I learned it over time. I have 2 girls. We invested very well in them. And the first one went to Yale. And she went. And now she's doing a second master's in Oxford. And because we then organize our assets, I am the jogo of my house. And, Cindy. So, please, if you want your wife to be happy, educate those children. Don't compromise. Okay? The fourth aspect of family is etiquette. I would say this with a straight face. Most of you, the men, mumejiachilia. And let's be frank, mumejiachilia. Where the man of the house no longer performs, women generally take issues of cleanliness, etiquette much higher than men. That's why they put lipstick and we don't. Okay? However, the man, as they get older, wanaregeza kamba. So, you find your hair, you still have it. It looks like a forest, kama ile ya Meru. You see, guys, you're supposed to be courting your wife forever. And she has to admire you forever. So, groom yourself well. When was the last time you went to the barber, you shave well, okay, nywele nzuri, yeah? You wash your socks. What else? Everything about you must be well groomed. Why? Your wife looks upon you as the leader, and the leader must be presentable to the public. Remember, she's introducing you to her friends. If you go for a cocktail, if you go for dinner, fine dining. Now, some of you might say, oh, hiyo ni kizungu mingi. Etiquette is now universal. There is no, you can't say ati, oh, because ati hiyo ni kizungu mingi. How are you dressed? You are dressed like a mzungu now. If you want to dress like the way our people used to dress 100 years ago, you should have come here in skins. Etiquette is universal. And you must groom yourself as the man of the house. Part of strengthening. If you want respect, command respect of your children, then you must groom yourself. And we must teach our boys. Because my daughter, who is in Oxford, who will marry her? Because in Oxford, you go to the dining hall in tuxedo. Every day, they go to the dining hall. It's in a tuxedo. Sasa, a girl who has gone to that level of etiquette and then meets a guy from Inorero University. So guys, there's a lot of things to be done at family level, fixing, studio. Then, the last part of family is women admire a man who is good in DIY. DIY. DIY is do it yourself. There are so many things at the household level to be fixed. A bulb is not working, curtains are falling, a tile is peeling off. Women admire a man who is, anachunga boma vizuri. A fence is falling apart. You are able to see that. That's our sources of leadership and admiration. So if you look like you are careless, respect inaenda chini. So this household, I want you to pay a lot of attention. Show leadership at the household level and show that wewe ni mwanaume kamili kwa hiyo nyumba. So are we clear with those three things? Imeingia kabisa, So, and they are implementable chap. Okay? tomorrow. So finally, I want you now to look at yourself, because you see, you can do those things for others, but there are some things you do for yourself, so that then you grow. So I have 3 things that I want to leave you with as part of your personal growth. You go along. Because now you have to grow yourself, your soul must grow, so that then you assert leadership at home. So, my recommendation, and this is out of reflection over time, how you strengthen your resolve and leadership at home. So number 1 is you must participate in a sport that you are an expert in. I know some of you are experts in watching, but you have to be an expert in participating, action. So you can't say, oh, I love football. That's watching. What sport? You see, you must occupy yourself to do something that, is robust. So if it is golf, for example, okay, women admire a husband who goes to the golf course or plays tennis or swimming or football, something. Your children also pick the same habit of a sport, because sports help you mentally. It gives you a lot of energy, expend that energy, and re-energizes you. A competition gives you purpose, So, I want you, in the next 3 months, identify a sport you are good at. And I guarantee you, God has given everyone something. There is no way you cannot have a sport that you love. Even if it's chess, you must occupy this brain meaningfully with a sport. So, before we leave here, I want you to have made a personal resolution to have reduced the sports you are going to try from Monday, if you are not there already, to 2. Either or. I will do this, or I will do this, and over time, you choose which one you are excellent at. And in that sport, carry your wife along, carry your kids along. It may not be the sport they themselves love, but it could be a sport that it could inspire a thought on a sport. The second one is a language. A language. A language is a very interesting thing in mental resolve. It exposes you to other cultures, other people. And what it does is it reduces your biases. A lot of conflicts at home is because of naivety and bias. Ushenzi na ujinga. So, when you learn a language, it has an incredible effect on giving you mental resolve. So, I want you to figure out today what language, it could even be a local one. One of my aspirations, Odundo, is to learn the Luo. Because the Luo is a very romantic language. Yeah? When I look at some of the music I love now is Donye Baber. Yeah? Ero Kamano. Intie. So, it reduces a lot of biases. If you look at even our elections are mainly biased because we just don't know the next culture. Learn a language. Okay? It could be French, it could be Spanish, it could be Kikuyu, whatever you love. But once you learn one, you learn more. And when you learn more, you become a better human being, even the reasoning among your children, because remember, your children are likely to marry somebody not from your tribe. And when you embrace people from other cultures, you become automatically a better human being. So language. And the third one and final one is a musical instrument. Music. Now, how many of you are experts in a music instrument? Put up your hand. Music instrument. One. So 10%. So we're in a 10% club. So, music is food for the soul. If you want to be a better father, a better leader, can you feed your soul with musical instrument? Okay? Can you imagine if I come to your household and I find Daddy playing the piano? You know? Your children will also pick the same habit and probably do another instrument, a violin, a cello, a flute, whatever. Those three things have a way of occupying your time in doing things meaningful. You will find yourself spending less time in the pub. Okay? You will find yourself being present father. The children are happy to hear a piano playing by their dad, who also goes to church the next Sunday, like tomorrow, and plays in the choir. Slowly, you get admired. So guys, can we occupy our time and make ourselves present by doing those three things at home? In that way, you strengthen your leadership. You lessen the pressure. You live a life of purpose. There's meaning. Because your children, all these three things can help you participate with your children, and that pulls your spouse to the game. If you don't do all those 6 things I have mentioned, I guarantee you, you will be great leaders. So I want to end by quoting the Bible. I'm sure those of you who are saved will be happy. So, can you pull out your phones and go to the book of Sirach. The book of Sirach. The Catholics know it, the non-Catholics don't know. Remember, there are books which are different. The Bible is different for each group. So, Sirach chapter 44, verse 1 to 15. The book of Sirach 44, verse 1 to 15. The title is Hymn in Honor of Our Ancestors. Okay? And I'll read it and you follow it because I want you to save it and go and reread it again in your private time as a takeaway from the 6th man cave. Let us now sing the praises of famous men, our ancestors in their generations. The Lord apportioned to them great glory, His majesty from the beginning. There were those who ruled in their kingdoms and made a name for themselves by their valor. Those who gave counsel because they were intelligent. Those who spoke in prophetic oracles. Those who led the people by their counsels and by their knowledge of the people's law. They were wise in their words of instruction. Those who composed musical tunes or put verses in writing. Rich men endowed with resources, living peacefully in their homes. All these were honored in their generations and were the pride of their times. Some of them have left behind a name so that others declare their praise. But of others, there is no memory. They have perished as though they had never existed. They have become as though they had never been born. Their children and their children after them. But these also were godly men whose righteous deeds have not been forgotten. Their wealth will remain with their descendants and their inheritance with their children's children. Their descendants stand by the covenants, their children also for their sake. Their offspring will continue forever, and their glory will never be blotted out. Their bodies are buried in peace, but their name lives on generation after generation. The assembly declares their wisdom, and the congregation proclaims their praise. So guys, I'm wishing you are going to live for generations. You will be successful men, and your generations of children will always honor you. And they said, kwa hii familia, kuna mwanaume. Asante sana. Thank you.
We can make it louder. We can make it louder for